Hey, Connect Groups, Pastor Brian here. Hope you guys are having a great Christmas. I'm just coming back from my daughter's Christmas play at school. A lot of fun, really enjoying the way my wife has the house decorated. Smells like Christmas, looks like Christmas, and when I think about Jesus coming to the world as our friend, it's really an amazing thought that the greatest gift is a relationship with God Himself. There's so many other religions that's not the case. You simply serve God, you worship God, you pay homage to God, you, in a certain kind of way, are afflicted or afflicting yourself to try and court God's favor. You're doing anything but knowing God personally. Jesus in John 15 says quite differently. Instead of calling us servants, or some translations may say slave, He calls us friend, because everything that He's heard from God the Father, He passes on to us. So I want to first say we are part of an extraordinary, so unique religion compared to all the others of the world. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It's not true. When people say, oh, all roads lead to heaven, or we're all worshiping the same God, we just have different ways, it's not at all true. There is one God, and He has come to show us the way. That's a singular understanding. There's one way, and Jesus is that way. And for then Jesus to turn around and say, yeah, I'm going to treat you totally different than the way other religions handle God. We're going to be friends. But He gives a couple of thoughts about that, and the first is that He gives us a complete understanding of what God has shown Him. It's a very open relationship. It's transparent, it's honest, it's trustworthy. I'd love for you to spend a few minutes and talk about your relationship with Jesus. How comfortable are you with the fact that He calls you friend? How is your trust level? How is your openness with Jesus? Both ways. Do you feel that you're dialed in and in a sense, downloading His friendship, His openness to you? And how open are you to Him? How trusting and transparent are you with Jesus? The second part of John 15, and I'm in verses 12 through 16 and 17, is that Jesus says, I no longer call you servants. We covered that, but he also mentions that you are my friends if you do what I command you. On Sunday last, we jumped from this idea over to James chapter 4 and verse 4, where we also learned that friendship with God is important, but if we're friends with the world, we actually become enemies of God. So I'd love for you to talk about what friendship with God looks like versus friendship with the world. And certainly from verse 14 of chapter 15 of John, what in the world does it mean to be a friend to God and do all that He commands? You're catching the boys coming in behind me. Jared, Joel, say hi to the Connect Groups.
Hello. Hey, sorry.
So it's a Friday. You're probably going to have a Connect Group this weekend or the next, or maybe you're on holiday break. It's a good chance that you may not even talk about this stuff or ever see this video because you're having Christmas parties. But if you do, talk about friendship first with God through Jesus. Talk about your openness and transparency with Him and the transparency and openness of Christ towards you. How close do you feel? And then secondly, talk about friendship with God in terms of obedience to Him, following His commands, and how do you do that without it becoming like a really tight and controlling and rule-based type of faith? How do we really follow Jesus but let it be within the love that He talks about in John 15? And if you have the time and want to, what does friendship with the world look like versus friendship with God? What are some things that are important to note between the two? So many people would say we live in the world, but we're not of the world. Jesus is talking about friendship with Him, and James, many believe is the brother of Jesus, is talking about friendship with the world. what does friendship with the world look like as compared to friendship with God? I hope your friendships are growing. It's been a fun series. It's been, I think well received, a lot of good feedback. Look forward to the new year when we talk about friendship that leads to marriage and other, other ways to prepare ourselves towards marriage and how to handle things even when they don't go well. So we love you. Have a great new year. God bless and Merry Christmas.